Welcome back to JRG Guitars. Up today, we're going to start a new build series. This is going to be a new guitar from thefretwire.com. We're going with their hollow body guitar, Rockabilly style. This thing is not a semi-hollow, it's a full hollow body of the Rockabilly type era. It's going to have a Bigsby style trem on it, 2 humbuckers, set neck again. It's going to be sort of interesting. I've never built a guitar like this. Never really even thought I'd want a guitar like this, but sort of spoke to me after building that SG. I do have a semi-hollow that I like, and I thought this will be an interesting one to get into too. So up today we're going to unbox it. We're going to take a look at the components that we have, talk a little bit about what they'll be getting into as we get more involved in it, and we'll see where we end up with this one. Should be a lot of fun. So let's get right to it. Alright, so here we go inside the box. Let's see what we got. Opening up. Alright, here's our body and our neck, our bag of components. So let's see what we've got into here. Alright, well, let's unveil this body. First things first. So as we open this guy up, wow, looking nice. So here it is, a full hollow body, giant F-holes. You can see the thick body on this thing, quite substantial. Certainly is hollow. We've got our post hole, which will be for our bridge. Like I said, there'll be a Bigsby style coming off the back. We're going to set this neck in, hopefully have more success than I did on my SG build. We've got components that are going to get in, everything fished through the body, which of course will be interesting. So this should be good. So here I am into handheld mode so we can get the whole body in the frame. Pretty nice looking. I can already see that there are some, well, little imperfections in the wood right around where the binding goes. This is a little chipped off right here. Extremely rough cutting in here, so we're going to see how the neck fits, and but all in all, it should be pretty good. Some sanding will need to be done. So it is bound, a double binding. We have this binding on the top, and then there's just a white binding that goes around the entire back of the guitar, and then up the side right here as well. I'll have to do a little wood filling. Still trying to decide what kind of color I'm going to do. It is an arch top, and if I hold this here, you can see the arch and an arch on the back as well. So this should be good. We also have some standard cream style binding here around the F-holes, so we'll be taking some care to clean these up nicely, and as we stain or paint or whatever we decide to do, make sure that we keep it in good shape. Let's take a look at the neck now. Let's see what we've got here. So one of the things about the Fretwire that I liked is over a solo music gear. The solo music gear neck was only 21 frets. It had just block inlays, where these are these cooler inlays on the fretboard, sort of a little bit like a Gretsch style that looks like that, and I thought that was just a little more fitting for this style guitar. Looking at the fretwork, definitely some work will need to be done, but that's okay. I wanted that, so I can deal with that. A tiny bit of fret sprout that I feel, but we should be in pretty good shape. The neck is also bound along here. Nut appears to be just a cheap plastic nut. Certainly one that we could upgrade with ease. Headstock looks to be pretty good. I don't know if I would even bother reshaping that. We do have a scarf joint here on the neck and a multi-piece neck. So I can see I have a seam here and a seam here. It's notched out to fit in, and let's get this here, how this is going to fit. So this is sanded pretty fine, pretty well. This doesn't look too bad on the neck, but as I said, on the body it's a little rough. So let's see here. Kind of tight going down. I don't want to force it. I can see as I look in from the back right in this pocket in the cavity right here. I'm touching a little closer to the top of the opening than I am in the back, so I'm not going to push it anymore. I will just have to sand a little bit. While I'm here, hopefully we can see down inside this guitar, and we just have a block that's down there that basically is a support for our bridge. Other than that, completely hollow and looks pretty good. So let's open up our bag of components now. Okay, so here we are with all of the components. Let's see what we have here. So, just a small little pick guard, which would be nice. Of course, it comes with a cable, comes with some strings, 2 pickups, which are just, I'm sure, very inexpensive pickups, but hopefully functional. They appear to be just standard humbuckers, although they have this on here, this silver face, to make it look a little bit more like a Filtertron, which would be a little more fitting towards the style. A bag of individual components, so we have our posts for our bridges. We have 4 dime side spot pots and an input jack. We have our posts here for what I'm assuming these are for tuners. Yep, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Braces, other little things, strap buttons, all that good stuff. So that's all pretty standard. Wiring, so nothing is wired up, which doesn't really concern me too much, as I'm not afraid to solder this stuff up. Everything gets fished through, so it'll be difficult to have everything pre-wired, just because it has to fish through the F-holes. I don't have a control cavity as I did with other builds. Just standard speed knobs. These look like decent enough, although they don't feel fantastic tuning keys, but they feel good enough. The switch is probably just a little printed circuit board switch on the inside of there. Nothing too fancy, but probably very functional. And then of course our bridge, which doesn't feel too light, doesn't feel too heavy, feels just right. So that should be good. And then this is the one that, since I decided to go with this style guitar, it had to have the Bigsby style tremolo. So here that is here. I have never even played a guitar with a Bigsby. Alright, so just to sort of see how this goes, as I put the Bigsby style trem on here, and I am purposefully calling it a Bigsby style because it is certainly an unbranded tremolo. It is not a Bigsby. But as we put it on here, the pre-drilled holes appear to be correct. I need to try and see how it's lining up. Meaning, if my neck has any kind of tilt to it at all, to where I should sand one side or the other. So I plan on popping in these bridge posts, and then we're going to see how we line up to get an idea of what I need to sand. That really jumps. Okay. Alright, so just having the neck pressed in and having the bridge just tapped in here, I will say, as I look down my strings, the alignment looks pretty pretty good. It is, yeah, pretty good. Should be a fun build for sure. As far as colors go, when looking up hollow body builds, if you do a quick Google search, the colors that seem to come through the most certainly are some type of metallic flake or metallic of some sort. And I almost think a blue metallic or even an orange metallic would be cool. Of course, when you do a Google search on this, Brian Setzer is one guitar player that will come up with those searches as well. And seeing him there with his giant hollow body, there's some great pictures of a sort of a burnt orange type color on there, and it just looks fantastic, jumps off. So I'm thinking maybe a blue or an orange metallic flake. So in that case, it's not really a stained guitar. I will say the face of the guitar has some decent looking wood grain on it, so I could stain it and it would probably look pretty good. But I almost think that metal flake would just be incredible. So still some decisions to be made there, but this will definitely be a fun one. All right, so that's what it looks like unboxing it to the point where maybe we're ready to dive in. So here's this big hollow body guitar. Pretty nice looking. We'll see how this whole thing is going to turn out. I'll try to get these videos out in succession as quick as we can, but I'm definitely going to take my time on it. I am learning as I go along here, and what I have definitely learned is that even though you get excited and you really want to get to the next phase of the build, it's important for me to just ratchet it down a little bit, hang on, and try and be patient and finish the first stage to the best I can before moving on to the next. It just avoids too many problems. So stick along for the ride. As always, I appreciate you checking back in with the channel and certainly staying through till the end of the video. If you enjoyed this type of content, I would ask you to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button as well. Ring the bell for notifications and you'll be notified when the next video is headed out your way. So thanks a lot for sticking in here, and we'll see how this one goes. Thanks much from JRG Guitars.